Hi, this is Catie Harris from Philly Wellness Center, and the question we have today is, can you test your mitochondria? So let's talk about what it is that you can do. So you eat clean, you take your vitamins, you sleep well, but your energy still feels meh, right? But what if the problem isn't you, it's your mitochondria? So today we're breaking down what we can actually test to see if your cells are running like a Tesla or an old gas engine running on fumes. So let's decode what your mitochondria are trying to tell you. So mitochondria are where 90% of your body's energy is made. They are strong. When they're strong, you feel unstoppable, focused, lean, resilient. And when they're weak or damaged, everything slows down. Your metabolism, the hormones, the memory, recovery. And here's the thing, standard blood work's not going to show this, right? So when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, your blood work looks fine, but you don't feel fine, it's because they can't see it on general normal labs. So you can have normal labs and still have mitochondrial dysfunction simmering beneath the surface. So we have to use functional testing to look under the hood. So the first test that I have that I love is the organic acids test, or OAT, right? So it's a simple urine test that looks for byproducts of your energy cycle, like the Krebs cycle. So when certain acids like succinate or malic or fumaric build up, it means that your mitochondria are struggling to convert food into energy. High lactic acid tells us that your body's stuck in glycolysis. That's running on sugar because mitochondria are not doing their job. It's like checking your car exhaust to see how cleanly your engine burns fuel. So that's one way to check. That's our mitochondrial smog check, if you will. So then there's the ATP profile. So this is a direct look at how much energy your cells are producing in real time. So you can use things like the MitoSwab or Genova's Cellular Energy Profile, which will measure how much ATP your white blood cells make and how fast they recover after stress. It tells us if fatigue is truly mitochondrial or if it's thyroid, nutrient, or adrenal related. So if you're mitochondrial sluggish, we can see exactly where the breakdown is. Um, the oxygen used, is it a CoQ10 deficiency or is it oxidative stress? So when the oxidative stress is the next thing that you can measure, and when the power plant starts smoking, that's what we see. So, that's the smoke coming from the engines. So tests like 8-OHDG tell us if your mitochondrial DNA is being damaged. Malondialdehyde and F2 isoprostanes will show if your fats are oxidizing, which is really important, even an oxLDL. And your glutathione and CoQ10 levels show how well you're fighting back. If these markers are high, you're literally seeing mitochondria rust in real time. And that's when fatigue, pain, and inflammation kick in. If your glutathione and CoQ10 levels are low, then you've depleted those resources and you need to get those back on board. Another critical measure is your NAD/NADH ratio. It's like the voltage of your cellular battery. There's no real good way to measure this because there's NAD outside the cell and then there's NAD inside the cell, and we have no way to measure NAD inside of the cell or know what that ratio is. We do use a proxies such as uric acid to understand an NAD balance because it follows along that pathway. So when your uric acid is low, like under 4, we can assume, or we have to make the assumption that your NAD levels are low as well. So you may benefit from NAD replacement, but when NAD drops, your energy output tanks and repairs, slows, and mitophagy grinds to a halt. So that's why when some people have a low uric acid, they get an NAD infusion, they actually feel much better. But NAD itself can't pass through the cell membrane. It has to be broken down. So sometimes taking supplements like NMN or NR can be much more powerful than even just an NAD infusion. The precursor to that is just plain old niacin, which is cheap as dirt and it's super good for you. So I would definitely get the flushing kind because that's where the studies showed the most benefit. So even though it's kind of a painful medication or supplement to take, B3, cheap as dirt, really, really good for you, and it'll help restore your NAD ratios. All right, so membrane testing. So you can also test the structure of the mitochondria, which is the membranes themselves, and that's where a test such as prodrome comes in. That's from from Dr. Goodnow. So your cell membranes are made up of phosphatidylcholine, cholesterol, plasmalogens. So you want to take a look at those. You want to take a look at the lipids that make up your mitochondrial membranes. If they're oxidized or depleted, it's like having cracked insulation around your wiring. Energy leaks, inflammation rises, and signaling breaks down. So when we repair the membrane, the whole system comes back online. And then there's functional breath analysis like PNOE or VO2 max. So PNOE is a metabolic analysis, and that's a real-time assessment. So metabolic breath testing measures how your body uses oxygen and fuel. Healthy mitochondria burn mostly fat and oxygen efficiently, showing a low RER, which is a respiratory exchange ratio. If you're relying too much on sugar, your RER will be above 0.85. So your breath data tells us exactly how flexible, efficient, and youthful your metabolism really is. All right, so when we combine all of these tests, like your OAT tests, looking at oxidative stress markers, membrane health, metabolic analysis, even uric acid for NAD, we get a full map of your mitochondrial story, how well you make energy, how fast you burn it, how much damage is happening along the way. And when those systems are congested, when oxidative debris piles up, that's when something like EBU therapy can make a huge difference. So that's the extracorporeal blood oxygenation and ozonation. EBU helps by oxygenating the blood, reducing oxidative waste, and stimulating mitophagy, so the old tired mitochondria are cleared out and new ones can grow. It's a clinical reset button that makes your lifestyle work better. So if you've ever wondered why your energy doesn't match your effort, this is where to look, because it's not just willpower or caffeine, it's about how clean, connected, and efficient your mitochondria are. Testing tells the truth, and from there, we rebuild your energy cell by cell. So if you're ready to test your mitochondria, give us a call at the Philly Wellness Center.